Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decipher corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into EcoScience Solutions' latest 10K filing. This report is like a company's annual diary and we are about to read it. Get ready for some twists and turns because this report might make you say eco no rather than eco yes. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can chat with other Corporate Decoder viewers about these documents. First off, this is their annual report which covers their business activities for the year that ended January 31, 2025. This document tells us all about what EcoScience Solutions, trading under the symbol ESSI, has been up to. They are supposed to be a technology solutions provider aiming to help businesses with financial accounting, inventory management, and sales tracking, especially in industries with lots of regulations like cannabis, gaming, and even oil and gas. So what does EcoScience Solutions actually do? They want to create an ecosystem, a 360-degree system to connect businesses, consumers, and even governments through technology. This includes everything from a directory of business locations to e-commerce payments and even cash management. The idea is to help manufacturers sell directly to consumers more easily. Here's the kicker, and it's a big one. As of this report, they say they currently have no revenue. That's right, a whole year and zero income. Their main product is a cloud-based platform called Herbo, combined with their financial platform HerboPay. Basically, it's software for phone called Herbo, combined with their financial platform HerboPay. Basically, it's software for businesses in regulated industries to keep track of their money, inventory, and sales. But for all that effort, their CEO is actively trying to find businesses that would benefit from using the software, yet is coming up empty. There's a bit of legal drama in this report involving a shareholder lawsuit from a few years ago. It all started back in 2017 and it involved claims of false statements and corporate waste. Long story short, some of the old executives had to step down, some shares were returned and cancelled, and the company had to agree to some governance reforms. They even had to bring in an ombudsman. One of the terms of the settlement was that 15% of any future revenue or financing would be set aside to implement these reforms. Again, since they don't have any revenue, this part is still waiting to happen. Think of it as setting aside money you don't have. Let's talk about the leadership. Currently, Michael Rowntree is the CEO, CFO, and Chief Operating Officer. That's a lot of hats for one person. He's also got a multi-year employment agreement. One interesting part is that he is accruing his base salary of 2 years, but he won't actually get paid until the board decides the company can afford it. So he is working and not getting paid just yet. Here's a legal area they operate in that is always changing. Cannabis regulation. Marijuana is still illegal at the federal level, which creates a bunch of problems for businesses, even in states where it's legal. There are rules that the federal government can't interfere with medical cannabis programs as long as they comply with state and local laws, but that could change. Plus, there's the issue of banks not wanting to work with cannabis businesses because they could be accused of money laundering. The report also admits weaknesses in their internal financial controls. They don't have enough staff with the right expertise, there aren't enough checks and balances, and they rely too much on outside consultants. All this means it's harder to make sure the numbers are accurate. Now, the moment of truth, the numbers, the audited consolidated balance sheets. Let's start with cash. They only have 2,817 US, which is not a lot to run a business. On the other hand, they have $4,455 in prepaid expenses for some reason for a total current assets of $722,722. All this brings their total assets to a bit over $100,000, which might sound like a lot until you realize that they have a bit over $16 million in liabilities. That means they have an accumulated deficit of over $78 million. That's how much they have lost so far. Scrolling down to the statement of operations, their net loss in 2025 was a bit over $1.1 million, which, hey, it's an improvement of the loss of $1.2 million the previous year. So, you know, that's something, right? Their weighted average outstanding shares were about 53 million. And because of that, they are making about 2 cents loss per share. That takes the company to negative $16.5 million negative worth of capital. All these numbers were audited by Fruition Associates 2FU LLC, who are now their new auditing firm after dismissing BF Borgers, who themselves were banned by the SEC earlier this year for issues with not conducting their audits right. Looking more into their internal payments, on the report, they also mention related party transaction, which is that their CEO, Michael Rowntree, has to pay a total of $120,000 every year as the COMAPNI advisory fee. They also owe their related parties over $7 million. Not a great number to carry considering the other financial numbers. One little small good point is that the report notes they are making under $1 million in income tax in both years. Now, let's put this all together. EcoScience Solutions is trying to position itself as a key technology player in regulated industries, particularly cannabis. However, these financial results are frankly rough. Their lack of revenue, combined with substantial debt and accumulated losses, paints a concerning picture. On the plus side, they do seem to be cutting costs somewhat, but they have to become self-sustainable. It's concerning for their financials, and something would need to change fast before it becomes impossible to do so. Unless new funding comes in, the internal control weaknesses only add to these worries. Alright, that's our breakdown of EcoScience Solutions' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and before you do, if this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.